Hi lovelies, thank you so much for tuning in today. How are you doing? How has your week been? How has your day been? Just how has everything been? How has everything been? Let me know. I definitely want to hear it. And thank you so much for the last video. I saw all the views and I received some messages about it as well. So here we are again to still talk about Love is Blind, but the latest episode. So let's get started. The latest episode had 3 couples, I believe, that were left, and that is Jimmy and Chelsea, Amy and Johnny, and Clay and AD. And I think let's start talking about Jimmy and Chelsea. So Jimmy sits Chelsea down for a conversation, and he starts off by asking her, how does she feel about what she's gonna say at the altar? Is she at a point where she's just gonna say no or yes? Basically, just where she's at. And at that moment, I was surprised at that question because I just thought, Jimmy, like, where are you at? Like, why are you so? I don't know. I was a little bit surprised at that moment, but I later understood where he was going to with that. So Chelsea replies and is like, yeah, they're having issues and all that, but right now she thinks she would say yes. And then Jimmy surprised all of us, and he's like, oh no, he doesn't think that they can make it to the altar because of the issues they've been having, but most especially because Chelsea in a previous episode had exposed what he told her in secret about one of his best friends. You know, he told her in secret that he had slept with that particular friend of his. I think he wanted to be transparent with her, and for the purpose of honesty and all that. And during an argument, she said that on camera, and that made him feel like he couldn't trust her. And Chelsea, of course, was so upset. She started crying, and she was like, you know, you don't love me, whatever. I was happy. I was happy that he had made that decision because, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many people, that relationship wouldn't have worked. If they went ahead and got married, it wouldn't work because they're 2 different people, because Chelsea has so many issues that she has not worked on, and she is projecting all those issues into the relationship. So I'm happy that Jimmy was able to see that and make the best decision for them both. Coupled with the fact that, honestly, when it comes to the thing about him having slept with his friend and Chelsea being uncomfortable with him hanging out with her, I think I saw some comments online with people that felt like, you know, that they would be uncomfortable too. It's okay for you to feel uncomfortable about him hanging out with her at night or things like that. But it's not okay for you to reveal something he said to you in private on camera just to spite him. It's not okay for you to use things he tells you in moments of honesty and vulnerability against him anytime you get upset. Most especially because you yourself, I mean Chelsea, spoke to your ex-boyfriend, apparently FaceTimed him right there when Jimmy was in the house. You talked about Trevor, the other guy that she was talking about in the pods, and said, oh, he's your type of guy, he's attractive, whatever. Like, you do stuff too. The difference is that he doesn't use them against you. You can have a conversation with someone that you are in a relationship with about things you don't feel comfortable about, but the way you say them, the way you communicate them is what makes the difference. She's always saying things in a very combative and argumentative way, and in a way to make him feel like he is this bad person and she is this victim. It does not land well. Obviously, it didn't land well with him, and it did not land well with us, the audience, because guess what? We're in the relationship too, because guess what? We're watching it. So yeah, we're there. It's all of us are in the relationship together. So bottom line is, I was happy that it didn't work out. I thought, great, good decision. Next couple, Amy and Johnny. I mean, what is there to say except for what a beautiful romantic journey they've had on the show. It just feels like a match made in heaven. Of course, no relationship is perfect, but it was so beautiful watching them. I feel like they're gonna work out. I feel it's gonna be a marriage that we're gonna hear about, and it's just gonna be like a successful Love is Blind love story. And it's everything just aligned for them. Their goals, their values, everything. Like, it was so lovely seeing Johnny with his family, and the way that the two families, Amy's family and Johnny's family, have already kind of just like merged, and they're already like one big family. And it's like, I mean, what negative thing could anybody say about that couple, except for beautiful couple, wish you nothing but the best, and it's so happy. And I am happy, and it's beautiful that we were able to be a part of that journey through the TV. And you know, great. What is not so great is what happened between Clay and AD. Now, let me tell you something. When I was watching at the beginning, I had a lot of doubts about Clay. I've said that in the previous episode. And I mean, I just was seeing different red flags. I didn't really think that Clay would be a safe choice. When AD went with him, I mean, I knew it was equally because it didn't work out with Matthew. Matthew left, and I do think that if Matthew had still been in the show, if he hadn't left, I believe AD would have chosen him, because AD recognized in Clay, I think what she recognizes, I've gone for guys like Clay before and it hasn't worked out before, so I want to try something new. And that's why she was really leaning towards going for Matthew. But then when Matthew disappointed, she was left with Clay, and of course she fell in love with Clay and tried to make it work. What I saw there was a guy who was not ready for marriage, a guy who has a lot of demons that he hasn't faced, and then AD jumping into fixer mode and trying to fix all of that. But AD is not your job to fix him. You see, if he wants to work out through his issues, he'll do that. But that's not your job. And I think because she got into this fixer mode, she was ignoring all the red flags that we were seeing through the TV. She was not seeing them. Because she was swept away by this fairy tale romance that she imagined in her head, she was not seeing the reality of the relationship. And that is that her and Clay were not at the same place in that relationship. She was looking at it in one way, and he was, I don't even know if he was looking at it at all. What I really think that I wish Clay did better is really communicate to her how he really felt. Because he kept on talking about, you know, his trauma and all of that, but he never made it seem, at least we didn't see that. Because I don't know the parts that weren't shown to us. We didn't see Clay specifically saying, well, I don't think I can marry you, or I'm having doubts about that. We saw him talk about his fears, but never talking about doubts about marrying her. He kept on saying that he loves her so much and all of that. So like, I understand why AD just thought, oh, he's definitely gonna say yes at the altar. And then after all of those assurances, making her feel like, yeah, I love you, I'm with you, and all of that, for you to get to the altar and say no and be surprised when he went to see her after that she was so upset, that was so upsetting to watch. I felt all of AD's pain in that moment. I mean, kind of all of it, but you know, I felt it. It was sad. It was sad to see. It was sad to watch. It was sad to, how would you feel? I mean, if that was you, how would you feel? That was horrible. To think that someone that claims to love you could put you in that position. Now, don't get me wrong. I am aware that the show is called Love is Blind and you get to the altar and you say yes or no. But if you love someone, you let them know where your mind is at so they know what to expect. It seemed like she was completely blindsided, and he did not have to do that. He could have been honest with her about what he truly felt. He could have been honest with her from the onset. He could have been honest with himself from the onset and not even come on the show at all because he's not ready to get married. Then he had the nerve, guys, to say that, oh, you know, I don't really understand her finances and I'm not like deeply in love with her. What? You don't understand her finances? What don't you understand? Why didn't you tell her that? Why didn't you make it known to her that you're the kind of guy who cares about how much a woman makes, and so for that reason, I don't understand this relationship and I cannot be with you? Why did you not tell her, you know, I don't love you that much. I'm not deep in love with you. Why didn't you say that? And then leave the show or something. Why did you waste her time? Why did you waste her family's time? Why did you hurt her? If you claim to love her, why did you hurt her? I don't think he loved her. I don't think Clay loves AD. Quote me on that. I think he's attracted to her. I think he is attracted to the idea of having her as a girlfriend and whatever comes with that. But I don't think he truly loves AD. And I think AD, the reason why, and I'm speaking to you, AD, I think the reason why you keep on falling in the same type of relationships is because you think that being a good girlfriend and being a good partner means being there to fix issues for your person. Being a fixer. It's not your job to fix the guy. You're not his mama. It's not your job. You should focus on what is best for you. And if that guy is not doing that for you, then he's not doing that for you. There's no fixing required in that situation. The second a relationship starts being that kind of relationship, that's when you know it's not for you. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying that you cannot be there for your significant other. I'm not saying that you guys cannot somehow be each other's partners, friends, lovers. But you shouldn't carry all your traumas and all your issues and put on the shoulders of the person you say you love. And you shouldn't carry that for that person either. Because what you don't want to do is lose your self-worth and the love you have for yourself in that relationship, all in the name of being whatever he needs you to be at any point in time. That's not a healthy relationship. You come to a relationship as whole as possible. I'm not saying you cannot have issues, don't get me wrong, but you should know how to take care of your issues without putting them on your partner. And the fact that Clay came into that relationship trying to carry all his trauma and put on Ada's shoulders is a red flag. It is a red flag. So next time, AD, when a guy does that, just take a step back and say, listen, I love you, but you need to sort out whatever is going on. Now, when you're ready, and if that happens, if I'm still available, come back and let's see if we can make it work. But I don't think right now you are at a place where this relationship can work. And for that reason, it's better that we just step aside from this for now. That's what you do. And don't think that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's like super easy to do that. But what happened with AD happens so many times with so many girls. Even guys, it's very common. And that's why I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. You need to recognize when something isn't for you, or when something isn't for you at that moment. Don't ignore it, because if you ignore it, it will eventually come up. And you might just end up heartbroken on the altar like AD did. So next we have the reunion coming up. The trailer has come out as well, and I can see some moments between Jessica and Jimmy. I saw that in the trailer, and Chelsea and Trevor. There were rumors that Trevor was in a relationship before he came to Love is Blind. I think while he was in Love is Blind and things like that. We're gonna find out all about that and see where that goes. There was also Sarah Ann in the reunion. I think there was a moment between Sarah Ann and Laura, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Sarah Ann and Jimmy are still together. I'm actually rooting for them. I hope they work out, and let's see how that goes. I'm excited to see the reunion. I hope that this time around the hosts try to actually make more justice to, or do justice to the reunion. You know, a reunion is supposed to be like the episode where everything gets talked about and sorted out and just there's nothing left unspoken. And I hope that the hosts do a good job this time around in doing that. And I'll definitely be watching, and I'll keep you posted once I watch it, and I'll let you know my opinion. That having been said, I'm gonna thank you all so much for tuning in. Whether you are listening, watching, either of the two, thank you so much. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, all of the above, and see you in the next episode. Mwah!